Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sena and this is Design Simply. So today I thought we'd do something a little bit different. I'm really, gosh, I say I'm a lot, don't I? But anyway, I'm really excited for this video. I've been contemplating doing a video like this in the back of my head for so long, just because I enjoy watching them, and it's tricky because it's one of those that like nobody really asked. But I enjoy watching home tours, and I kind of like watching reactions of like what people actually think about the homes. So I thought I'd also give my little 2 cents. And today we're going to be looking at Shonda Rhimes. I just saw some snippets of it, and I see a lot of like English royalty, regalness, a little bit of French as well. And yeah, I'm excited to see because I feel like this is where I don't know how long she's had this home, but I feel like I see a lot of Bridgeton influence, which is very, very interesting. So Miss Rhimes, what do you have for us?
This entryway is one of my favorite rooms in the house, amazingly enough, just for you being an entryway. One for the light fixtures, which are, there's these great little wall fixtures, but also the ceiling fixture, which this is just like my favorite work of art.
I'm not crazy about this light fixture, I'll be honest. I can appreciate the arts elements to it, and like, it's very interesting to look at, but I just feel like there's a bit of a disconnect between the actual shades, the lamp shades, and then the globe sphere spiky things. I don't know, it's kind of giving me avant-garde, but then elements of traditional. It's a little
Of
bit
art
weird.
unto itself. It is so amazing. You could look at it all day long. So beautiful. I don't know where Michael Smith found this piece, but when he did, I literally, I'm not joking, I wept because I thought it was so amazing. And then I filled the space with my favorite paintings by Huey Lee Smith, who by now you all think I'm probably Huey Lee Smith's stalker, and I am, and I don't care because his work is so incredible. You want to feel welcomed and like you're coming into a home when you come into a space, and so one of my favorite things about me when I walked in.
Okay, so looking at her art and the space and the pieces of furniture that she's chosen for her entryway or her little lobby space, I feel like I understand what her style is. I'm just looking at the art and the inspiration from that. If you look at the subject matter, it's also kind of giving you a little bit of old English, old American service type of wear. I'll try and find the right term for it, and you kind of see aspects of that. I will say that the entryway is a little bit toned down. I think maybe because the chandelier is the moment and she wants that to just be it. I do like the wall sconces. I think they look really, really nice together with the chandelier, even though I do not like that light fixture, but I do think that they play nicely together. The art, I'm not crying about it.
Yeah. Room is my living room, my entertaining space, and it's also my office. When I bought this place, I didn't have any furniture for this place at all. I'm not like a person who has like a ton of extra furniture. So when I bought this place, I started with the wallpaper and built outwards from there.
Okay, I love that she started out with her wallpaper, because I feel like it's such a busy piece that would have looked odd if she started buying furniture and buying pieces and then picking out a wallpaper. And the wallpaper is an art of its own. I love that it surrounds the whole room, and then from that she draws certain colors and those become the accents in the space. So I love the wall color, by the way.
But I had to acquire every single piece that you see here. It was sort of, every piece was a find, which probably goes with the eclectic nature of it all. I don't know if you've ever had to like sort of start from scratch for something, but it's really hard to put together a space, which is why it's nice to have a really great designer like Michael Smith.
I will say I agree with that. I'm kind of struggling myself as well. And it's not always a money thing, just for me, I'm very eclectic. I like to believe, so I really want to guard myself, and I feel like there's a sense of guardness with this because you don't want the space to feel overwhelming, and I think she's done a good job with that because every piece somewhat makes sense. But I will say that I'm not crazy for some of the furniture. I love, love, love the green chairs that she has, those occasional chairs. This blue couch that I'm looking at right now, I think that's really nice. But the white furniture, I'm not really feeling, but I do understand the need for it, just because not everything can be textured and colored. You do need something that's a little bit toned down. She has kind of accents it out with the cushions, which I don't think are nice either. But yeah, she's got a lot of like big pieces, which is weird because she says like in New York, this isn't really this is regarded as a big space, but it's not really a big space. I feel like maybe if we're going with the whole Bridgeton vibes, then it wouldn't be a big space at all because they have grand rooms. So I feel like this is her grand room, even though it plays a double space. But yeah.
Helping you. But B, why it's good to be open and feel like once you pick something that you're obsessed with, that you can be open about how else you put together a room. If you look at all the pillows, none of these pillows seem like they match, but they all do. Once you put them all together, they form a palette that really goes with the wallpaper and pulls the whole room together. I chose pieces mostly for comfort and for simplicity, but also it made it possible to choose things that could be both antique and modern and feel a little bit eclectic. And I could also just sort of go crazy with something like this. But
wall scones, beautiful. I love it. It just suits everything so well. Yeah, I really like it. I don't like the material on this.
Not feel like I had to stick to anyone's style. Instead, I let the wallpaper really be the choice for the room and let everything else sort of.
That is very crazy. But I love it. It's beautiful. I think it's so special because it just looks like one of a kind. But it's kind of giving me a little bit of an Asian vibe. But it still works just because it's so ornate that I feel like it still works in her home, even though she's gone very European. And in this, she has like trinkets of Asian inspiration. I also saw like a little box on her study table that also gave me some Asian vibe.
You know, if you look up in any of the rooms, all the light fixtures are really special. And this is one of those light fixtures. It is sort of very grand and very bold, but it's also, you know, crystal glass makes it so that it doesn't take over the room, but it does make a statement. And I really love that it made a statement. So it's one of my favorite pieces. My favorite place to sit, honestly, is in that little chair by the orange tree. I sit there with my laptop and I write, and I can sit there for hours and hours and hours a day. The sunlight pours in that window and I sit there and I get a ton of writing done.
I love the orange tree. I think it's such a cute little plant to have. It's the only greenery I'm actually seeing other than the flowers. So I really, really like the orange tree. And I'm really on the fence about these curtains. I've been seeing them and I've been trying to decide really what my opinion on it is. My first thoughts were, I don't like them. I don't like that they're yellow. But now looking at this screenshot, it makes somewhat sense. I still don't like it. I just don't know what other color she could have picked, because white would have just looked too odd. It would have been too much of a contrast, but the wrong kind of contrast, because yellow is also contrasty, but it goes with the playfulness of the room with the accents of colors. I feel like whites just would have looked too odd. Maybe an off-white. I think off-whites with a little bit of a beige or like a brownish cream would have looked nice. I think that would have looked nice. But yeah, I love the tree and I actually like it against the yellow curtains, even though I'm not a fan of them. So it just goes to show how the room works. It's very busy. I think if it's not your style, you would be overwhelmed, but there's just so many beautiful things to look at and not a lot of them are ordinary, that it kind of makes sense. It's like if you want more, make sure that the more is beautiful.
I spend a lot of time sitting right here because the sunlight is beautiful and doing a lot of thinking. This is one of my favorite paintings. In my other house, I have a lot of paintings by Huey Lee Smith, and so this is another one of the Huey Lee Smith paintings that I have, and I don't know, I like to stare at it. It always makes me think of endless possibility, so I love to look at that.
So I'm not a fan of her art, but I think that the muted tones that she has picked for it make sense. But I'm not a huge fan of the artwork, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
The dining room. So the dining room also does double duty. It is Obviously, a dining room. There's a big banquette that sits in the corner. Cabinet full of books over there. Two of my favorite paintings by Walter Williams are in here. You can also turn this into a guest room. So even though it's a dining room, it also does triple duty as like a library, a guest room, a place to sit and read and write.
So far, I would say the dining room is my least favorite, but it has my favorite art so far.
Great about this space is it also, if you shut all of the doors to this room, this area right here, which looks like a television set, pulls down and it is a bed, which is actually a great idea because there's a full bathroom right around the corner and you can bring a guest here and a guest can stay here and feel completely cozy and comfortable and like they have a private space. So it's another way of like using a room for more than one function. And once again, well, a guest can stay here.
That seems a little busy for me. I don't know. Almost wonder why I shouldn't just pick a bigger house to have that guest bedroom. It just seems like, I don't know, it's cool to have. You always want your rooms to be able to play double features, but I feel like her rooms are playing too many double features that, yeah. Also, let's talk on the wallpaper of this room. I don't know, what do you guys think of it? I don't like it. I don't like it, but I appreciate the storytelling for this room. It's kind of giving you a little bit more of a seriousness to it. I mean, you've got your bookshelf, so it kind of looks like library and looks like a formal dining space. So the colors here are definitely nothing like the lounge that we saw. Here we're kind of going a little bit more moodier, but with a warmth. So I don't know.
Paper. I really went a little crazy with wallpaper in this room and had to really trust Michael Smith, my designer, when he said, like, let's go with this like super interesting wallpaper. I didn't know immediately that I was going to love it, but the minute it went up on the wall, I was obsessed with it.
You know what it is with the wallpaper? It's giving me old school vibes. I think that's why I'm a little bit on this edge of it. I mean, it's as busy as the previous one, but this one, I don't know, it's a little bit old school with the trimming and then the framing. I don't know.
The texture of it, completely different from the one that was in the other room, but it fits this room perfectly. And I think there's elements of each room that feel like they sort of needed to be here. You know, the banquette needed to be here in order to make this room fit all the functions that we wanted it to have. We needed to be able to get a big dining room table in here, but we also needed to be able to get a bed in here.
Yeah, I will say this room, I think we're gonna move on from it. Let me know if you guys do love it though, but I feel like this room, looking at the light fixture, looking at some of like her decor and the accents that she chose, this room is definitely more inspired, more traditionally inspired. It's kind of giving me a little bit of old school vibes. I think it's all the browns, all the brown tones mixed together. I do like her dining chairs though. I think they're gorgeous. I love that salmon color to it. But that's pretty much the only thing I like in this space, to be honest.
I have had the fire on when I've thrown a dinner party, and it does make for a really wonderful feeling in space. This room really does work well for dinner party. I mean, it takes it all away for me and for anybody who comes here. They come and they want to sit and they want to be here, and it makes it so much fun. Now, why don't you come and see my kitchen?
Impressions, I like the kitchen. I like it. Yeah, let's just watch, but I like it so far.
It's my kitchen, which is completely kind of redone from what was originally here. This space used to be both, I think, a kitchen and then like also a maid's room, and then there was also like a little laundry room off to the side, and we closed it in and made it more of a real space for cooking and being. And then my favorite thing that we did to give it more space was we created these cabinets that are glass on both sides to go in front of the windows, which I was a little bit...
That's very smart. I think it's a great way of introducing lights, but not taking away from the fact that you still need storage space. So I think that is very smart. I've never seen that before. I like it.
Also, once again, it's about wallpaper. So in here, this is sort of this really funky floral wallpaper that I thought was really great, and I think when used in moderation looks amazing in this room, and really grabs the light and grabs the ceiling, which is also this great buttery yellow.
I will say, I don't think I would have added wallpaper where she added her wallpaper, just because It looks a little bit out of place to me. I think that space would have looked really nice if it just had a really beautiful art piece. I don't even like that sculptural floral thing that's going on there. I think she had like the wall was a little bit more plain and then she had a really beautiful art piece. And then maybe wallpaper the ceiling because she seems to love wallpaper. But that one, I don't know, it looks like a stretch. Like, yeah, I want to have wallpaper in all my rooms, so let's do that one. It looks like a stretch to me. And I don't like these lights, these ceiling lights that she chose. I don't like them. They have like this weird glass reflection underneath. I suppose that adds to like the lighting experience, but I don't know. I don't really like them.
I think it's something about it makes me feel comfortable in terms of cooking and eating. And I was at my mom's house the other day and I realized that my mom's kitchen is this color, so maybe it's about my childhood. There's something about my childhood in this color that makes me feel comfortable and like I'm at home or something. It just brings me back to the
kitchen. I think is styled very nicely. You know, you do want your kitchens to be a little bit more plain in terms of the styling. I expected to see a little bit more just because of the other rooms that we've seen, but she's toned it down and I think it really works. The island looks a little bit the island looks a little bit too large for the space. I don't know, my eye is saying it's too large. Obviously once you're in the space it might feel a little bit different, but I just feel like between the counter and the island I personally would have liked a little bit more space, and then have a slightly smaller island. I don't know why it has to be so wide.
Having a big island in this kitchen was one of the things that felt important. I mean, it's not a big kitchen. So you want to find a way to make this kitchen feel inviting, and you want to find a way to make this kitchen feel like the counter space is substantial enough that a lot of people can be in here. And what's happened is sometimes is if I'm having a dinner party or if I'm having people over, I can make this a buffet. And people will come in and get all their food off of this counter and then take it out into the dining room and sit down to eat. Or like my kids and I will sit around this counter and we'll eat breakfast or something like that, which is also really nice. But it does give you the space you need to spread out and like get the cooking done or to get the serving done that you want to have done. The light fixtures in here are these mirrored fixtures that do push light downwards, because if you notice, this is not the most sun-filled space in the space. This might be the darkest room in the whole apartment, but it is a way of bringing light in, just like having the glass front cabinets. You bring the light in and you push the light down, and it does fill the place with a sense of light, and it makes it feel pretty good in here. I love to drink coffee in here in the morning. So this room is, I call it the guest room.
So first impressions of the bedroom, I really like it. I love the blues. I think it's a little bit playful but sophisticated and it's calm. Just look in all her other rooms, you will see that they're quite busy. So it makes sense that for a bedroom she would want to tone it down a bit. So I do really like that. I appreciate that about this bedroom. I love the color blue. I think it was a good choice to pick it. I love the wall color that she picked as well. It's busy but it's calm, you know, so there's texture in it, there's all the stuff that you want, but there's not a lot going on. So yeah, I think she did a good job.
The masks on the wall make them feel like they're sort of in their own like little like play space, even though it's still a little bit formal.
I think the big sculptural piece above the headboard is very nice. I love the neutral and the warm tones that it brings into the room. I'm not a huge fan of the moss, but I do kind of get the play of each other. I think maybe she could have done maybe some artwork there that had the same tones going on, but I suppose she really wanted to have a 3D sculptural effect with texture. So yeah, the masks are a little bit freaky. I think they're a little bit crazy, but they nice, they work.
My oldest daughter loves it because it feels very grown up for her. So it sort of fits everybody when they're in here, which I love. And so it doesn't have to feel like anybody's particular, like this one's mine room. Once again, it has this very beautiful artistic light fixture. The whimsy of the blue, I think it's really beautiful. You know, the blue in here feels very warm and inviting, but also can be...
I like the light fixture. I think it's quite beautiful. I love that it's such a deep blue. I would say that Shonda, she loves her light fixtures. She loves them to be super detailed, super chandelier and ornate and traditional to that style. So I do appreciate that she has that throughout all her rooms. I will say though, I'm a bit disappointed with the wall sconces. I feel like they're a little bit small. I would have thought she would have done something more grand, bigger, a little bit more of a statement. I feel like, I don't know, it blends in too much. It blends in a little bit too much. They're small. I almost feel like, what's the point? But I suppose it does the job in terms of lighting, but I would have done away with them, with those ones especially, and just gotten something different, but not that.
Sophisticated, which I thought was really nice. And once again, we chose wallpaper because the wallpaper was, you know, very sort of soothing and brings you in. I didn't want it to feel too kid-like. You know, my girls are growing up fast. So, you know, I have a child who goes from, you know, last year she was very into fairies, and this year, like, she would rather die than talk about fairies. So I wanted the room to grow with them as they grow. Incredible masks on the wall, and they're just so beautiful. I mean, they're childlike, but they're also very, very mature. And I thought that they were really interesting. They sort of captured the idea that this was a room that was going to grow from being a room for little kids to a room for sort of tweens to teen girls as we move through time. Earth tones on the wall, like, take the blues and take the whimsy out of it all, which I think is really lovely. And it also grabs the colors in the chair, to grab the colors in the wall, to grab the colors here. It sort of pulls everything all together, which is really nice.
This occasional chair, I love this material that she chose for it. I think it's so beautiful. I love the draw on the blues as well as the yellows and the neutral tones. It's just such a great blend, and it really works well with the space. The side tables aren't anything special, but I suppose not everything has to be ornate and special. You do need a little bit something that's more toned down. I like that she kept them blue, although I do wonder how they would have looked like if there was like a deep wood color. I think they might have looked nice as well, just because it got so much blue going on already. And there was a snippet of the rug. I hope you guys caught that. I don't think it's special, but she doesn't really mention it, so I guess it's not worth noting too much. I guess it just works well in blending the room. But yeah, this room, as much as I love it and my first impressions were like, wow, there's also a lot of like, throwaway pieces, I think. So guys, Shonda has a very beautiful home. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts, what you guys think of his space. I think it's quite beautiful. I love how detailed it is. I love how each room has a color story. So in the entryway, it was a little bit more neutral, more toned down, which makes sense because you're about to enter like another region really. And then when you get into the lounge, it's like a little bit more rainbow influenced. And then the dining was your brown tones, and then the kitchen was also a little bit lighter, and then the bedroom was blue. So I love how there's a color story in each room. I think that's very, very thoughtful. She did a great job, her and the designer. I'll try and get the details to who the designers are, and maybe we'll even check out some of their other works if you guys are interested. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your opinions. Like, do you guys like this space? Do you like this video, this format? Who else would you like me to go through and, you know, the designer? But yeah, I don't know how to close this off. I don't know why I'm being so weird. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope I'll see you all on the next one. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this, and share notification bell, and I'll see you all